News Extra family. It's another night for us to converge and set to hear what's happening across the nation and beyond. The beauty of it is that we bring it to you with an extra touch that makes it a must-watch. Tonight, we start from the next level powerhouse where approvals for critical infrastructure project has started to come forth. And from the states, there is a flurry of activities all geared towards improving the quality of life of the citizenry, from Lagos to Kebbi, Kano, Lokoja, and many more. The House of Representatives is back in the plenary, and the members are worried about the $9.6 billion debt judgment in London. What are they doing about it? We will tell you. Also tonight, a royal father who ought to know has been talking about the Presidential Economic Advisory Council. We will share his thoughts with you. Do you know the disease you should be afraid of more than the dreaded HIV and AIDS? Watch out for it. Okay, let me pause here so that I don't spill the whole beans and may lose or maybe lose your interest. But be assured that there are stories on the economy, power, oil and gas, health and sanitation. Well, the taste of the pudding is in the eating, so let's not whet your appetite too much. Let's taste the pudding. I am Fatima Umar Buba, and this is Next News Extra. And we begin. In furtherance of its commitment towards rebuilding and expanding the nation's infrastructure for enhanced socio-economic development, the federal government has approved funds for the completion of critical road and bridge projects in parts of the country. This is aimed at not only reducing journey times, but also the cost of doing business in the country. Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Raji Fashola, announced this while briefing newsmen after the meeting of the Federal Executive Council. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details.
It was the second meeting of the next level Federal Executive Council, and for the first time, almost all the 43 cabinet ministers were in attendance. With President Muhammadu Buhari presiding, the meeting considered and approved 4 memoranda presented by the Ministry of Works and Housing. 2 of them for the revised estimates of cost for the completion of Oba, Newi, Oga, Ukigwe Road in Anambra and Imo states from 3.7 to 4.3 billion naira, as well as the ongoing contract for Alesi Ugeb Road in Cross River State from 9.16 to 11.22 billion naira.
That was a place where trucks used to break down regularly during the rainy season. That has stopped because the contractor is making progress, so we want him to finish. So we are revising his cost. So you are not hit there in the rainy season this year because government has fixed that road now, but we want to complete it.
Also approved by the council is the completion of Chanchangi Bridge linking Takum and Wukari local government areas of Taraba State.
We had to change the contractor there. He had abandoned the site, so he was re-awarded at the cost of 2.132 billion naira. And the final approval we got today was for Katsina Ala Bridge, which has also been in the news. It was also the subject of a House resolution because of its deteriorating conditions. So the expansion joins a lot of repair works to be done there. Our contractor has started. So we did it as an emergency procurement approved by law, but we still had to come to council for approval and ratification. So that has been done.
3.56 billion naira is now to be expended on the project, which comprised total bridge repair, replacement of expansion joints and bearings, as well as the rehabilitation of 3.2-kilometer access road at Ugbema Junction in Benue State. On his part, the Minister of Sports and Youth Development, Sunday Dare, briefed the council members on the successful outing by Nigerian athletes at the just concluded All Africa Games in Morocco. Nigeria came second at the tournament behind Egypt with 127 medals, out of which 74 were won by female athletes.
Our performance this time is rated as one of the best because we have seen a resurgence of a few other sports that Nigeria never had any gold in before. We had gymnastics coming back. In canoeing, we won 2 gold medals. Athletics, where we had witnessed a bit of doldrum, we came first on the athletics table in Morocco. Interestingly too, in the past, our gold medal table was improved because of the para athletes. This time around, for the first time, we didn't have the para athletes, yet we were able to bring in as many golds as possible.
Nigerian athletes, the minister said, were camped for only 7 weeks before the sporting fiesta, believing that if they have had a larger period of camping, more medals would have been won for Nigeria.
Ultimately, Morocco will serve as a benchmark as we prepare for the 2020 Olympics, June next year. Our athletes will be going to Doha on Saturday for the Doha meet, which is almost the equivalent of the Olympics. And from the outcome in Doha, Nigeria can start to either count its gold or bronze or silver medals when it comes to the Olympics.
Sports Minister Sunday Dare told journalists that under his watch, the nation's various stadia will no longer suffer criminal neglect in terms of facility maintenance, while preparations are ongoing for a befitting presidential reception in honor of all the athletes who made Nigeria proud in the just concluded All Africa Games as well as African and World Basketball Championships. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Now, in case you don't remember, President Muhammadu Buhari at the launch of the National Action Plan on Water Sanitation and Hygiene WASH sector gave a directive that henceforth federal government support to state in the sector will be contingent upon their willingness to implement the National Action Plan. That remains the guiding principle as the federal government begins a massive drive on the Partnership for Expanded Water Supply Sanitation and Hygiene, PWASH. In the latest of the series, Kaduna State Government is continually leveraging on this arrangement as Governor Ahmed El-Rufai came calling on the Minister of Water Resources, Suleiman Adamu, in Abuja. Musbaut Wahab tells us more.
Standing tall in the ancient town of Zaria, this modern water reservoir, a component of the Galma Regional Water Supply Expansion Project, now supplies potable water to over 2 million people in Zaria and its environ. Recently inaugurated by President Buhari, the project was jointly funded by the federal and Kaduna state governments, Islamic as well as the African development banks. That is the spirit of the Partnership for Expanded Water Supply, Sanitation and Hygiene (PWASH) initiative of the federal government. But then, the Kaduna state government still strives to balance the water supply deficit in the capital city, Kaduna. So, Governor Ahmed El-Rufai has come to ask for more.
Kaduna city now is home to about 3 million people, and our water supply capacity is for less than 1 million. So there are serious water shortages in Kaduna metropolis.
Kaduna State's government appears to have moved a step further, domesticating the WASH policy, apparently to shore up its low access to sanitation of 23.8%.
We are also building public toilets all over the state to address this problem. We'll adopt this. If you don't mind, we will have Clean Kaduna, use the toilet as our own version.
As Oliver Twist, as the governor may sound, that is the kind of momentum the federal government wants as it sets priorities for state governments.
For instance, one of the key things is for the states also to declare a state of emergency on water sanitation and hygiene. There was also issue of things like legislation against open defecation and so on and so forth.
In the coming days, President Buhari is expected to present an executive order on sanitation to further emphasize the urgency that the implementation of a national WASH action plan requires, particularly the Clean Nigeria Use the Toilet program. In Abuja, Musbah and Wahab, NTA News.
Thank you, Musbahu. And over 3,000 households in Kebbi State are to benefit from a 90-kilowatt solar hybrid project by the federal government Rural Electrification Agency. Abdullahi Umar was at the inauguration of the project and now reports.
The solar hybrid system will provide clean energy to 483 residential buildings, 82 commercial buildings, and over 3,000 inhabitants of Kare, Dadinkowa, and Solai in Ario local government area of Kebbi State. The Kebbi State Governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, in a message delivered by the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Water Resources and Rural Development, Engineer Amin Umar, thanked the federal government for citing the project in the state. He said the project will lift economic activities in the area and the state.
Tango said, although it is called land of equity, it is also called a power state because out of 37 states, it is only in Kebbi State that you enjoy supply of electricity for a period of 24 hours.
The Executive Director, Rural Electrification Agency, Dr. Sanusi Ohiari, said the project will provide constant and efficient solar power devoid of environmental pollution or damage. Dr. Sanusi Ohiari explained that the solar hybrid project will boost commercial businesses and improve the economic status of the benefiting communities.
Not only have the people of Caribbean Power been provided with access to stable electricity, but also this project provided job opportunities for the industrious people of this community in engineering, construction, and project management.
The Chief Executive, Mayo Tropical Technology Limited, Mr. Anayo Okenwa, stressed the need to create a synergy between the developers of the project and the benefiting communities for the sustenance of the project. Mr. Anayo, who said the 90-kilowatt solar hybrid project have a lifespan of over 20 years, added that more communities will be captured to reduce further the dependence on electricity supply. Some leaders of the benefiting communities applauded the program by the federal government, stating that it will provide equitable access to electricity across the country. In Benin Kebbi, Abdullah Omar Ilalu, NTA News.
And it is common knowledge that the judiciary is the last hope for the common man. This arm of government is seen to have evolved over the years with reforms in guaranteeing transparent, fair, equitable and just hearing to all. But how well has the judiciary helped in advancing democratic culture? When will Nigeria be a country fully run on the rule of law? Over to Talato Ezerike for answers.
Nigeria has been enjoying uninterrupted democratic rule to advance good governance for development. Many say part of the credit for this lies with the judiciary, the arm of government charged with the interpretation of the law. The judiciary and democracy are interwoven, so while the politicians are busy playing out politics, the judiciary continue to ensure that the game is played by the rules.
Without the judiciary, right from 1960 today, politicians would have since destroyed this country.
The current democracy, we must not only press the judiciary, we must also press the Nigerians who have adhered to what you call locus classicus.
The politicians have to lighten the job of the judiciary. First of all, let's begin with electoral reform. It has to take place. It has to be signed for something time, and then a lot of things need to be changed.
Areas of concern for many include contentious litigation on presidential election petitions that have become a phenomenon since 1999, except in 2015.
2015, and every sincere Nigerian will have to praise Goodluck Jonathan for not going to court. Because where there is clear winner, you don't need to go to court, and the lawyers will be sincere to tell their clients that even if you go, you will win.
In 2019, I think the petition was quite unnecessary. I was surprised when the PDP decided to go to court at the presidential level in 2019. I thought they were going to take a cue from what happened in 2015. And that, for me, would have civilized the country more.
You know, sometimes we use litigation for different purposes. And one of it is that sometimes it's another further campaign to another year.
More voices are therefore high on the pursuit of national interest in advancing good governance.
Buhari has won that election fair and free.
Started work. He needs to complete the job. All we just need is let there be a continuity from him.
It is generally agreed that democracy must be allowed to grow in building a stronger Nigeria. Talati Ezerike, NTA News.
Well, thank you very much, Talatu. In another development, the All Progressives Congress youths have promised to be active participants in the nation's political environment to boost efforts of collective governance and effective service delivery. As such, at the maiden interactive session, the youth leaders who converged on Abuja are also assuming the role of watchdogs in project management and implementation in the current dispensation at all levels. Salihu Abdullahi tells us more.
That we don't need to go outside the shores of this country seeking for greener pasture. We have everything it takes here. We have all the raw materials. We have all that it takes for us, the manpower and everything. But the problem is we are not being patriotic, and that is where we need to start now.
A call to Nigerian youths that although the country is on the path of development through political stability, the momentum could be sustained if they work as a team. They are representatives of APC youth groups from across the country on a mission to assessing their impact during the 2019 general elections and again share ideas on how to move on.
And ensuring that we are able to deliver on the promises we have helped our party made to the Nigerian people.
All the youth, we should behave ourselves. At the same time, act professionally, intellectually.
We keep hearing the youths are the future leaders. Let's be the future leaders today.
We are going around the whole 36 states, irrespective of party affiliation, to see that we lift young people out of poverty.
Meanwhile, the acting national secretary of the APC, Victor Giadom, has formally received Senator Nimi Bariba Amange of the PDP, who has defected to the All Progressives Congress.
I have decided to dump PDP and join the APC. I have written to my ward chairman. He has acknowledged this letter.
Our party will benefit a lot from your wealth of experience, your political strength, especially at the time that we are about to conduct election in Bayelsa State.
Senator Amange, who represented Bayelsa East in the 6th Senate on the platform of PDP, promised support to ensure that APC wins the November 16 governorship election in Bayelsa State. In Abuja, Salihu Abdullahi, NTA News.
The last has not been heard of the controversial $9.6 billion UK judgment on Nigeria as the House of Representatives expresses concern. Details of these and more when News Extra returns.
I should be on golden accessories. I shot so bad.
Mommy, is it not too early to be dressed?
Too early, Ke. Sure. I don't dance cyber since now.
Okay.
You think I go miss all the small shop? I don't do rishi.
Mommy.
Should be not that take a caterer when they come out, they get side mirror you take. And as for my women group, hey, not KSA or nothing at all.
Now when you get mouth?
You're familiar, Jerry. My picking.
Mommy, your credit still there, so?
Of course now. Now we the first credit like water. You not trust Glow?
Glow and Maple. Get 5 times your recharge to call all networks. Recharge with *555*PIN#.
You want to know where the party they shall let? Not here.
Glow Unlimited.
Bayes University is a fully licensed university operating since 2011 and has grown to have 32 accredited programs in 6 faculties. This includes computer and applied sciences, management and social sciences, engineering, environmental sciences, law, and basic medical sciences. The university also offers postgraduate programs and foundation courses in a conducive learning environment with modern teaching facilities and high-quality national and international staff. Bayes University graduates have either progressed into respectable career positions or have obtained postgraduate degrees from different parts of the world with distinctions. Call or visit www.bayesuniversity.edu.ng. Bayes University, Abuja. Learn to live.
From the creeks of the Niger Delta to the Atlantic Ocean, inland waters and beyond,
activities of some unpatriotic Nigerians and criminals are, however, harming Nigeria and Nigerians. Say no to crude oil theft, pipeline vandalism, and illegal oil refineries. These criminal acts destroy the environment, kill maritime life, destroy the livelihood of farmers, fishermen, and reduce Nigeria's economy by billions of naira. Nigerian Navy patrols are working round the clock to secure Nigeria's maritime integrity. Support the Navy and say no to acts that destroy our collective resources. Stop these criminal acts. Blow the whistle. The long arm of the law will surely catch up with culprits. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Navy. Onward together.
The Ministry of Mines and Steel Development wishes to inform the stakeholders in the minerals and steel sector and the general public that the proposed National Council on Mining and Mineral Resources Development, ELA, scheduled to hold in Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State from Tuesday 24th to Thursday 26th September 2019 is now rescheduled to hold from Wednesday 6th to Friday 8th November 2019. Venue, Trade Fair Center by Fountain Hotel, Archbishop Adetiloye Hall, Inyi Road, Ado-Ekiti. Time 9 a.m. daily. Any inconveniences the reschedulement might have caused is highly regretted. Thank you. For further inquiries, please call the following numbers. Dr. Abdul Kadri Muhazu, Permanent Secretary, Announcer.
What's inside this beautiful house? Inside, there is a very beautiful family. And in this family, there is a lot of love. And inside this love, there's Alpenliebe. And in the center of Alpenliebe, there is a feeling made with rich milk and creamy caramel. Alpenliebe, the milk-filled candy that warms your heart with love. Alpenliebe, bring hearts closer. Now also available in stick pack.
The head of the Civil Service of the Federation, Mrs. Winifred Ekanem Oyoita, announces the commencement of the 2019 Federal Civil Service Week celebration. Theme, the intersection of youth empowerment and migration, entrenching a culture of good governance, ICT, and innovation for inclusive service delivery. Events. Friday 20th September, special Jumat prayers, National Mosque, Abuja. Time 2 p.m. Saturday 21st, sporting activities and medical screening at the National Stadium, Abuja. Time 8 a.m. and 10 a.m. respectively. Sunday 22nd, interdenominational church Thanksgiving service. Living Faith Church, Jahi. Time 10 a.m. Wednesday 25th, public service lecture, creative and innovative writers book exhibition. Venue, Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Abuja. Friday 27th, dinner and award night ceremony. Venue, Conference Hall, State House, Abuja. Time 6:30 p.m. Dr. Magdalene Ajani, announcer.
Challenge can stop us, oh Lord, and we are the brightest. No darkness can blind us. We are the strongest.
Malta Guinness is packed with B vitamins to fuel your greatness.
Welcome back. President Muhammadu Buhari has approved the appointment of Dr. Mrs. Folashade Yemi Esang as the acting head of Civil Service of the Federation with immediate effect. Dr. Mrs. Yemi Esang, who is the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Petroleum Resources, takes over from Mrs. Winifred Oyoita, who has been directed to proceed on an indefinite leave to allow conclusion of the investigation being carried out by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The President has also approved the extension of the tenure of 7 retiring permanent secretaries for a period of 1 calendar year with effect from 1st October 2019 to ensure stability in the federal civil service and effective delivery on the 9 priority areas of the administration, as well as the mandates given to the new ministers. And the House of Representatives has expressed concern on the handling of the legal issue over the years between a foreign outfit and Nigeria, which was said to have left the country with a debt of $9.6 billion based on a judgment passed by a commercial court in the United Kingdom. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the House has set up an ad hoc committee to investigate the matter.
The issue, according to the lawmakers, brought under matters of urgent public importance by Representative Julius Ehombere, was consequence of a contract entered into with the firm Process and Industrial Developments Limited and the Ministry of Petroleum Resources in January 2010.
The agreement was somewhat shrouded in secrecy and as such apparently dubiously procured, as those who ought to know about its existence did not, and more importantly, the relevant laws in Nigeria for the transaction to be consummated was not applied.
It is more important for us to find a means of ensuring that there is no repeat of such going forward as a country.
Concerned about the current state on the matter, the lawmakers want to know how and why it got to this point towards finding a workable solution. Wednesday's plenary passed for second reading a bill for the repeal of the Export Prohibition Act to enable the export of commodities produced in abundance in Nigeria, as sponsored by the Chief Whip, Mohammed Tahir Bunguno. The House also urged agencies of government tasked with emergency response to scale up assistance to victims of flood disaster in parts of the country. In the meantime, the House has commended the chairman and managing director of Air Peace Airline, Alan Onyema, for evacuating Nigerians from South Africa following xenophobic attacks. The House, in a rare show of respect, admitted him into the Green Chamber in recognition of the patriotic and selfless service and urged the federal government to honor him with a national award.
And I'm aware that as we speak today, his aircraft has gone again and bringing in even more Nigerians back home to safety.
He is a man that has been known from the very beginning as a man of astute goodwill.
I'm encouraged in the country called Nigeria because I believe what you have done will serve as impetus to many Nigerians.
The chairman of Air Peace, in response, commended President Muhammadu Buhari for the mature manner he handled the issue and advised Nigerians to be nationalistic and embrace loyalty to country.
This country is blessed. 378 ethnic nationalities, not 250, that made up this country. That is the recipe for strength. Can we decide this day to harness this strength in diversity? Thank you, God bless you.
So far, Air Peace Airlines has evacuated hundreds of Nigerians back home from South Africa free of charge. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The civil and public service reforms being implemented by the present administration, especially in the area of efficient service delivery to Nigerians, have attracted the attention of state governments. Director General Bureau of Public Service Reform, Dasuki Arabi, said this at a meeting with heads of service of Abia and Gombe states. Adebola Brooksland Sunday reports.
The civil service is usually referred to as the engine room of government, which helps in the implementation of its policies and programs. How to replicate the design and implement the strategic plan which has transformed the service is the reason Abia, Gombe and Kano states delegations visited the Bureau of Public Service Reforms.
Lacking of skills.
Corruption, bloated workforce, redundancy are some of the challenges confronting state services.
They must have made election promises to the citizens. So an efficient public service will make them achieve their aims.
And support to meet our objectives of reforming Gombe State civil service for enhanced service delivery.
Dasuki Arabi said the Bureau is collaborating with the Nigeria Governors Forum for the benefits of the entire states.
So there will be need for us to come up with a strategy. At the federal level, we have a national strategy for public service reforms. We may have to look at how we can develop another one for the states. though you have done some things at your own level, but we can co-opt those into the strategy.
Even if we have to bring resources, there has to be something that will also come from your own end, so that we'll meet somewhere and aggregate and aggregate those things together so that we can achieve some a very good outcome.
So far, only Lagos and Kaduna states have fully established a reform bureau. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
It started with what was called Yahoo Yahoo. It's now in banks and everywhere ICT is applied for human endeavor. In fact, literally all human endeavor in contemporary society rely on the use of computers or ICT devices. This is why perpetrating criminality through technology is raising global concern, and Nigeria is not left out. Concerned about this reality, the National Orientation Agency is increasing awareness campaigns on the role of stakeholders in dealing with this modern form of crime. Onenge Fineface reports.
You said I should do what?
This is a typical example of how crimes are being committed over computer networks through internet connections, commonly known as cybercrimes. Nathaniel Alamagani recently escaped a similar attempt by cybercriminals.
A lady walked up to me that she wanted to make a withdrawal, but she was not with her ATM card. She will transfer the money into my account, then I'll withdraw it and give it to her.
These experiences are just a few of several methods adopted by cybercriminals to defraud Nigerians. A modern form of criminality, the management of which gave birth to this workshop on the effects of financial and cybercrimes on national development, initiated by the National Orientation Agency.
If we don't raise awareness about the dangers of cybercrime, then you can imagine the magnitude of how that crime could be for our country.
But the most devastating is the impact on the image of a country.
Cybercrimes manifest in BVN scams, identity theft, advanced fee fraud, piracy, cyber pornography, ATM skimming, among others. Hence, the advocacy for concerted efforts to stem the tide.
Right now, we have about 4 or 5 agencies that are involved. There is no synergy. Without synergy, we'll have problems.
Link EFCC, link ICP. A key solution identified is the enforcement of relevant laws enacted as penalty for cybercrimes. In Abuja, Onenge Fineface, NTA News.
Thank you, Onenge, and I believe that the workshop is coming at the right time. Now, reports by the International Panel on Climate Change indicates that coastal communities are more vulnerable to the impact of climate change as a result of sea level rise. Lagos, a coastal state, is experiencing the effects of this challenge and associated consequences. Jennifer Igwe tells us about it.
Buildings and investments have been swallowed by the Atlantic Ocean at Alpha Beach. Where I am standing now used to be part of an estate, but many of the buildings are no more because at some point the Atlantic Ocean virtually took over the beach. Now this building is one of the very few that survived, but it still has telltale signs of the ferocious impact of the ocean surges that caused buildup of sand that swallowed the building. Sophia Bassi is a photographer and human resource manager. She resides in one of the buildings now on the beach shoreline.
If you look on the maps, there's like 2 estates before my estate, which is here now. So basically, there was a whole express in front, and now everything is covered underwater, so there's not even evidence of anything like that happening.
These groins are intervention by the state government to help check the impact of ocean surge.
That time where the stone not there, the water they come, once the rise come, they carry house, carry people store, keep people.
Regina Folorunshon of the Nigerian Institute of Oceanography and Marine Research says one way to strategically address challenges posed by sea level rise is effective measurement of its rise and impact.
So we need a tide gauge that can be in place to measure the levels of the sea or the tidal levels for a long period of time for us to determine the rate at which it is increasing, it is that rate that will give us an understanding that every year it is 0.002 meters or millimeters.
Experts say millions of lives and investments are still vulnerable to the impact of marine rise. In spite of the worries, 9-year-old Samuel, a primary 5 pupil who makes money singing to tourists, is happy that the intervention by the government is restoring confidence of nature and fun lovers to visit the beach.
Used to tell me, mother, things get better. Mother used to tell me, Baba, go lick butter.
In Lagos, Jennifer Igwe, NTA News.
I wish I'm 9 years. Now, more positive reactions trail the composition of the Presidential Economic Advisory Council. These and more reports after the break. Please stay with us.
Mommy is ready to receive me a bundle of joy. Mommy is making my home cleaner and safer. We are Dettol sure. Daddy is home. He must be germ-free. He needs to be Dettol sure. My clothes are so nice. We are Dettol sure.
Illnesses can happen at home too. That's why Dettol and me together will make my baby's home safe and to protect from up to 100 illness-causing germs. That's why moms want to be Dettol. Dettol sure.
We are Dettol sure.
Download the exciting new Indomitables game on Google Play Store. Search the Indomitables on Play Store and download now. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Hey, you! And are you how they talk to? I sabi you now. It's in your mind, Abi. The person with them go hail pass. Baba Toros and Shangalo. Oga Lekuva, Mr. Sabi. And you know if we carry last for this one.
A spear into the top corner.
We Sabi say Peking will crawl before in waka. So don't look, no help anybody. No dolly, no. So go for it. Go for football. Go for all Serie A and La Liga matches live. Go for GoTV Max.
Imagine a luxury big breakfast on top of the world in Dubai.
To Dubai.
Collins!
Hope you bought enough big milk. Dubai, here we come!
To be one of the 20 lucky people going to enjoy a peak breakfast in Dubai, buy peak milk and collect your scratch card to redeem your instant win. Fill your details and return. Everyone's a winner. So keep on buying your peak milk and keep winning. Valid while stocks last. Reach for your peak.
Good to have you back on News Extra. Now, if you know the Emir of Kano, Mohammed Sanusi II, you will know he is not flippant, not a man known to blow anybody's trumpet or sing praises. With his pedigree as a top-of-the-range economist, his opinions on economic issues are top class. So when he opened up on the President's Economic Advisory Team, everybody paid full attention, especially as it is a subject matter he ought to know about as former central bank governor. Abdullahi Mustafa brings us details of the royal father's assessment.
Among the daily engagements of Emir of Kano, Mohammed Sanusi II is presiding over palace sessions with district heads and other traditional title holders. He also attends to visitors from within and outside the state who come to seek his wise counsels and blessings, not only as a royal father, but as an internationally acclaimed economist and scholar. At the end of the day's session, the former central bank governor reacted to President Muhammadu Buhari's constitution of an Economic Advisory Council. Its membership, the Emir observes, signifies the president's willingness and commitment to turn around Nigeria's economy.
When the global economy is facing uncertainty due to trade wars, it is extremely important that the president has high quality advice. So this is, to me, one of the best things the government could have done for this country. And this team is a first-class team.
Emir Muhammadu Sanusi II is also optimistic that with the recent economic policies and other infrastructural development initiatives, Nigeria will soon realize its dreams.
You have monetary policy, you have fiscal policy, you have development, you have financial markets, and I think the president has done himself a lot of good.
He enjoined Nigerians to cooperate with the government towards successful implementation of these laudable policies. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
In the meantime, the Buhari Media Organization, BMO, has applauded President Muhammadu Buhari for constituting an economic advisory council that will galvanize the country's economical gains. In a statement by its chairman, Niyi Akinsiju, the group says the composition of the advisory council shows the strategic thinking of the Buhari administration, devoid of partisan considerations. The group commends President Buhari for picking a tested and trusted team that has at least 2 former chief economic advisors to past presidents, a former governor of Central Bank of Nigeria, and a one-time IMF representative to Sierra Leone. It adds that the economic team is a true reflection of the president's second-term campaign to take Nigeria to the next level, as well as build on the successes of the mid-term economic recovery and growth plan, ERGP, I beg your pardon. Now, Salvas Oil and Gas Limited has unveiled an ultra-modern mega station in Kano State for a better comprehensive service delivery to petroleum products customers within and outside the state. This is the first of its kind in the state with improved facilities. Muhammad Rabiu Ali reports that Kano State Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje, emirs of Rano and that of Gaya, as well as businessmen, were in attendance.
Salvas Oil and Gas Limited is located at Tambarawa Zaria Road in Kano State, with capacity of 560,000 litres of PMS, 90,000 litres of diesel, as well as 45,000 litres of kerosene. The modern mega station is to complement other stations in providing good services to people of the state and motorists plying Kano-Kaduna Highway with 24-hour service. In addition, the station has 49 pumps of PMS double nozzles, 2 diesel pumps with double nozzles, 1 pump of kerosene also with double nozzles, as well as standard lube bay, plaza, and Jumat mugs. Other features include 101 functional toilets for male and female, 172 staff, and trained fire marshal in the event of fire outbreak. While unveiling the filling station, Governor Abdullahi Umar Ganduje applauded the chairman's foresight of providing jobs to teeming youth in the state.
Can you imagine the type of succor that he has brought to the people of Kano State, especially among the youth? I call upon the people of Kano State, especially the business community. This is the type of infrastructure that we're expecting, so that the outlook of Kano being a mega state, a mega city, will be improved.
Our aim for developing this mega project is to complement the effort to the government, so the government to create employment opportunity to our fellow citizens and meet the need of our customer by delivering premium service.
Key player in the sector, A.A. Rano, a royal father, corroborated with governor's assertion and prayed for God Almighty to sustain his temple. Salvas Oil and Gas is currently constructing 3 more filling stations in the state. Muhammad Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Thank you, Mohammed. And respite is underway for the host communities of Oil Mining License 25. This is because the lingering crossfire that led to the shutdown of OML 25 have been resolved through the intervention of the Group Managing Director of the NNPC. This is coming with a strong commitment to employ and engage sons and daughters of the communities hosting the project. Lydia Sampson reports.
The federal government is reportedly losing $1 million to the Belema Flow Station, which was shut down 2 years ago in Akokoturu Local Council of Rivers State. Operated by Shell Petroleum Development Company, OML 25 was closed down in August 2017 following a series of protests by youths and elders from some communities. They were aggrieved that the Dutch firm had not considered them, especially in employment. All that is now water under the bridge, as the MOU is reported to include the demands of the communities.
We'll do the operations and maintenance part of the operations, while SPDC remains the operator because they still have the license. So the communities are going to be pretty much happy. We'll be able to employ them.
Our plan is to go in there, engage, and as quickly as possible.
Minister of State Petroleum Resources commended the two parties and the NNPC for the intervention.
We also consider as loss to the country assets that can be produced that for some reason are just bogged down by all kinds of legacy issues and are not being produced.
For the Group Managing Director NNPC, Mele Kyari, the start of operations in OML 25 will go a long way in impacting the communities for good.
Options that are going on, including the social life of the members of those communities. For us, that's the most important element of this dispute to resolve, so that these communities can have their lives back.
This agreement brings to an end several unfruitful stakeholders' meetings and resumption of operations at the station. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
That's sure good news, Lydia, and we say kudos to the NNPC. And with the Christmas end of year and celebration of the New Year 2020 fast approaching, this next story will interest a lot of people. In view of the federal government's policy on agriculture to boost rice production for self-sufficiency and stop importation by 2020, Governor Yahaya Bello has inspected the Confluence Rice Mill in a Yagba West local government area of the state. Notes the keyword there, rice. Francis Udojo reports.
The over 4 billion naira project comprises a padding store where first-hand farm produce are stored, parboiling station, boiler section, as well as milling point. The Confluence Rice Plant has a 50 tons per day capacity with an 80 tons per boiling capacity. However, the milling plant, when put to maximum capacity, can easily run 3,000 tons per month and 36,000 tons per year, an equivalent to the production of 720,000 50-kilogram bags of rice annually.
The rice milling process will not only produce finished international quality standard rice, but will also produce brown rice, rice husk, among others.
Our party and Mr. President and our manifesto dictates that we should produce what we eat and we should eat what we produce. That alone is a lot of statements.
The milling plant, situated around Omi Dam, enables continuous generation of rice farms of about 800 hectares, as well as other agricultural products, benefiting 300 workers and nearby states. Projections are that the plant, when fully operational in February next year, will generate over 120 million naira monthly for the state. In Omi, Ejiba, Yaba West local government area, Francis Udojo, NTA News.
To a sad one now, when corrosive substances such as the dual-purpose kerosene is bottled in soft drink containers, most children often mistake it for consumable liquid. With about 6 children hospitalized at the Federal Medical Center, Umuahia, for such cases within a short period, stakeholders have raised alarm over the rising cases of death and injuries resulting from this situation. Ifoma Ndokole has the situation report.
Dual-purpose kerosene, DPK, is a combustible hydrocarbon liquid used for lamps and cooking stoves. It is a common household oil in Nigeria, which is generated from crude oil and can be used as aviation fuel, hence the name dual-purpose kerosene. Despite the numerous advantages of DPK, The product can be harmful to human system and can sometimes lead to death if inadvertently taken orally, like in the case of Favor, the little 2-year-old in this photo.
For this little boy, Victor Igbo, who has only just recovered from pains and injuries arising from kerosene consumption, it would have been another pathetic story. But for God's intervention and quick response from medical experts.
Before now, kerosene was mainly sold in petrol stations in jerry cans. Recently, the involvement of roadside vendors, otherwise called black marketers, in the distribution of DPK has led to the sale of the product in soft drink bottles, which are sometimes mistaken for consumable liquid by children. The medical director of Federal Medical Center, Umuahia, Dr. Azubike Onyebuchi, said they have recorded many cases of children who consumed kerosene in place of water. The kerosene vendors say they are not unaware of the implications of selling the product in cans and bottles of soft drinks. They, however, explained that it is the only way for them to measure the products for proper pricing.
Why I'm selling it in this can is because when you put it in a bottle, the thing will fall down and break down. So I decided to put it in a can water.
Observers are of the opinion that the bulk percentage of the blame should go to the parents whose children consume kerosene, as it boils down to carelessness on the side of parents, urging them to always store such products with care.
We must make a provision where kerosene should be kept and where water should be kept for the children.
When such cases arise, experts say it is an emergency and should be treated as one. From Umuahia, Ifeoma Ndu Okolie, NTN News.
All parents, caregivers, when we should all be wary of such things and also be careful of such things. There is an old saying that if you want to hide something from a black man, put it in a book. This goes a long way to describe the state of reading habits among blacks, Nigerians inclusive. Scholars, however, have listed provision of suitable reading materials in schools and public libraries, including use of readership promotion campaigns as measures to enhance reading and literacy level. Now, what is the level of reading culture in Nigeria? Let's find out from Olajide Bello.
CAC Grammar School is a government-owned secondary school in the heart of Akure. The school, one of the oldest in the town, prides itself as a sound citadel of learning in the state capital, especially with its high caliber of teachers and, of course, its functional library. Olale Aderonke, a senior secondary school 3 student, is one of the regular callers to the school library.
In the last examination that took place, we were not told. It was just 2 days to the exam, we are told. So, due to the fact I'm reading, it really helps me.
Aderonke could be 1 in a million, going by the rating of Nigeria by the World Culture Score Index as one of the countries with the lowest reading culture in the world. As a matter of fact, a survey by the world body on hours of reading per week per person did not list Nigeria at all.
Well, in those days, this place used to be a beehive with students and members of the public coming to read for different reasons, either for leisure or for examinations. But today, reverses the case as libraries have now lost their clientele to the social media. What are the implications?
In those days, local governments have libraries. They are no longer there again. Of course, we can say that the local government is totally paralyzed as at now. And of course, the state libraries are not well equipped.
The National Library of Nigeria admits that the culture of reading among Nigerians is very low, and these have varying indications to growth of the individual and the nation. National Librarian Professor Lenrie Aino says, though the council is itself seriously challenged by the lack of funds, strategies are already in place to turn the attention of Nigerians, especially youth, to the book.
We are now working on to have what's called a virtual library, where you can access all our books from anywhere in the world. So we are doing that. We are the organization that gives out what we call International Standard Book Number or International Standard Serial Number. You have to come to our branches to obtain these numbers. But we are using ICT to make this thing available online on our website.
Scholars also bemoan the attitude of parents who prefer to reward their children with candies and chocolates rather than books.
Books help you to travel around the world in the cheapest way. Huh? Books develop your personality. Books provide food for thought.
For Nigeria to record appreciable increase in her literacy level, which is currently put at 75 million illiterates, more of the likes of Aderonke will have to be recruited into embracing the culture of reading, while more suitable reading titles will have to be provided. From Akure, Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Thank you, Olajide. Now, the Akita State Governor and Chairman, Governors Forum, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, has commended Governor Nyesom Wike for his execution of people-oriented projects. Governor Fayemi said this while inaugurating the Rumuwoji market constructed by Governor Wike in Port Harcourt. Ogedi Inyekwere reports.
The visit by Ekiti State Governor and Chairman Nigeria Governors Forum is the second barely a week ago, this time to inaugurate the Rumuwoji market. The market was gutted by fire in December 2013 and a promise by Governor Wike to rebuild the market in 2014 during his electioneering campaigns to the area. Contract was awarded in 2016 and actual work commenced in 2017. Governor Fayemi expressed satisfaction, commending Governor Wike for living up to his promise.
Governance is about improving the quality and condition of our society, and governance is about ensuring that we fulfill promises that we've made to the people.
Governor Wike says the allocation of the shops will be done by balloting and promised to build more markets in the state. He said a committee will be set up to manage the Rumuwoji market.
It is important that in politics, when you make a promise, fulfill that promise.
With the inauguration of the Rumuwoji market, the challenge of street trading around Rumuwoji will be a thing of the past. In Port Harcourt, Ogedi Inyekwere, NTA News.
There is a virus that is more deadly than HIV and AIDS. Did I hear you say which? Yes, it is factual and real. If you care to know, stay tuned after the break as our correspondent tells us.
These days, people get their news and information from more media sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause disunity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Prince, did you hear that?
Of course I did. That is village master tune.
Eh? So Auntie Amebo was not gossiping then?
Village master is celebrating 50 years.
50? Already? This is not a joke.
It is a national celebration. NTA and Village Master family are commemorating 50 years.
Hey, Prince, tell me, when is our golden jubilee?
It is from the 8th to 11th of October, 2019.
I have to go and get ready. It's time to party.
Women, but we men will be there too.
Good to have you back. If you thought HIV and AIDS is the #1 killer disease, think again, because I hear hepatitis is bigger. So let's talk hepatitis, which is said to be the second killer disease after tuberculosis. WHO report says About 30 million Nigerians are walking on the streets with the hepatitis virus. Most worrisome is that some don't even know they have it. How do you know your status where you have not gone to be tested? This is why a group of medics with concerned Nigerians have come together to call for collective efforts in the fight against hepatitis in Nigeria. Their wish is for a world without hepatitis come 2030. That is my wish too. Over to Basi Ita Ikbang for more.
I don't know anything about the hepatitis. I know people have hepatitis and it easily kills.
I don't understand what you mean by the status you're talking about.
Viral hepatitis is an infectious disease that causes liver inflammation and damage. It could be contracted through blood transfusion, some sexual activities, circumcision, contaminated water, and body fluids. The latest World Health Organization report indicates that an estimated 325 million people are living with the virus globally, with a greater percentage of this number from Africa.
Over 90% of people that are infected with hepatitis are not aware that they have this infection.
For Smart and others who are part of the 30 million Nigerians who do not know their viral status, a group of Nigerians have joined their voices to enlighten the public on the causes of this disease. The group is also embarking on free medical screening in parts of the country.
And when you screen people, even if you are negative, if you are at risk, depending on what profession you are in, you can get the vaccine.
There are 5 main hepatitis known, which experts say remain a major concern due to the burden of the illness.
So the most prevalent one in this, in all over the world really, is B and C. So B is a DNA virus, unfortunately. It does not have a cure, but it can be managed. But fortunately, it has a vaccine, so you can actually prevent yourself.
While encouraging Nigerians to know their viral hepatitis status, experts say hepatitis is preventable, treatable, and in case of hepatitis C, curable. Basi Taikbang, NTA News.
We'd like to inform our esteemed viewers that we are experiencing some technical hitches on NT International DSTV channel 251, but we are available on channels 419 and 369. Our team of engineers are working hard to address the situation. And moving on, beyond its successes in combat operations as air component of Operation Lafia Dole, the Nigerian Air Force is also providing humanitarian medical outreach to civilian populace. Simon Asha reports that a medical team of officers and men of 153 Service Group of the Nigerian Air Force based in Yola flagged off a 3-day medical outreach to victims of recent flood disaster in Warujekbi of Yola South local government.
Conscious of the health situation of Warujekbi people and the worst-hit community in the recent flooding that bedeviled Adamawa State, the Nigerian Air Force, in its magnanimity, brings to bear a 3-day free medical treatment for malaria, diabetes, ulcer, free eye tests and glasses, among others, to mitigate their health challenges.
The medical outreach, know that it's a deliberate attempt by the Nigerian Air Force to provide free medical services at the doorsteps of the civilian population so as to enhance their well-being.
This is part of the Nigerian Air Force social corporate responsibility, in addition to our primary role of defense of territorial integrity of Nigeria.
We are dealing with a population of about 50,000 community around here, and the flood victims are 630. So if you add that, we are dealing with almost 60,000 people.
The relationship Governor Ahmad Umar Fintri represented.
They should give more assistance in whatever way possible within their reach.
Aside from the free medical services, the community also received free water supply for their domestic use, mosquito nets for pregnant women, blankets, among other giveaways to cushion the effect of flood in the area. In Yola, Simon Asher, NTA News.
In the meantime, the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria is reinventing its curriculum to accommodate the changing phase of medical practice occasioned by the application of new technologies in medicine. The board and senate of the college unveiled the plan in Abuja at the 50th anniversary of the college, which also featured the 14th annual scientific conference of fellows. Kelvin Ohunaye has details.
These senior medical doctors are proud of the contribution of the National Postgraduate Medical College of Nigeria to national development in the last 50 years. It is the biggest gathering of specialist medical doctors ever in the country. They are here to illustrate the impact of 50 years of specialist medical training in the country. Deliberations here are expected to show the pathways to the future of healthcare in the country. For government, working with the different medical bodies to find a solution to the challenges in the health sector is key.
This administration is placing priority to tackling the problems of brain drain and medical tourism and other matters related to healthcare in the country.
Experts and participants in this gathering say specialist doctors in Nigeria have made significant progress in different areas of medicine, like in vitro fertilization, open heart surgery, and neurology. However, they are worried that only the federal government is engaging over 80% of the nation's consultants, with many states' health system in shambles.
The universities that are working for the university as lecturers and professors or what have you, that are also serving the teaching hospitals as consultants, that are doing the bulk of the work of healthcare.
Investment in technology and getting government to take the training of young doctors more seriously is a priority for the management of the college.
Technology is changing and people expect more. It means that we really have much more to do.
Despite the challenges of funding, challenges of our insecurity, we have continued to sustain the healthcare system for the past 50 years.
To prepare for the future, the college is not relying on government funding alone. So, it has set up an endowment fund for development. The Deputy Governor of Nasarawa State, Dr. Emmanuel Akabe, and the immediate past Minister of Health, Professor Isaac Adewale, are the torchbearers of this initiative. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewonwaye, NTA News.
In another story, it said that most profit-making organizations in Nigeria prefer to give back to their customers in form of promo and rewards for patronage. But Hawthorne Suites Abuja is leading others to focus on the less privileged. This was demonstrated at the new Kuchigoro internally displaced persons camp, Abuja. Adebola Brooksley Sunday was there.
Hawthorne Suites is known as a top brand in the hospitality sector the world over. Their mission to the new Kuchigoro self-established internally displaced persons camp is to give back to the society as part of its corporate social responsibility. The general manager, Alan Salame, led the management team on a facility tour of the camp. The most vulnerable, women, became their focus, after which they made their presentation to them through the camp's coordinator.
I believe in God, that is why I say that.
Ms. Victor, a mother of one who is lucky to still have her husband alive, told me that she lost all her sources of livelihood while trying to escape death.
I'm a businesswoman.
The old women, they should be on retreat, they should be sitting at home.
And we will also take it further by liaising with the Ministry of Humanities so that it can now be like a PPP.
They also called on other business owners to shift attention to these people who were forced to flee their comfort zones due to insecurity. Adebola, Brooksland Sunday, NTA News.
A happy one for them there, Adebola. The second batch of 315 Nigerians returned from South Africa this Wednesday through the cargo wing of the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. The evacuation, which should have taken place on Tuesday, was stalled due to delay landing permit to Air Peace by the South African Airport Authority. About 320 people were expected, but 5 passengers were said to have been dropped as a result of documentation issues. And the Chinese Consulate General in Lagos has restated commitment to consolidating on its many areas of partnership with the Lagos state government. The Consul General, Mr. Chu Mu-ming, reiterated this when he led members of his team on a courtesy visit to Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu at the Lagos State Government House, Alausa, Ikeja. Nosa Osula reports.
General, who described the relationship between the Lagos state government and the Chinese government as very critical to the success of Chinese businesses in Nigeria, said his country is eager to consolidate on bilateral relations in different areas of the economy.
If not thousands, I would say hundreds of Chinese companies from the private sector that are doing investment in Lagos state. I've met a lot of them, and they are doing very well.
While welcoming the Consul General to Lagos, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, who said the state government is ready to deepen collaboration with the Chinese government, noted that his administration is looking forward to a very good working relationship with him and also exchange ideas on how to provide employment for the teeming population in the state.
We currently have a lot of engagement, a lot of collaborative efforts. One of them is the Lekki Free Trade Zone, which is a joint venture enterprise between the Lagos state government and the province of Guangdong, right? And with a lot more other provinces that we want to open collaboration from.
The Chinese diplomat assumed duty as China's Consul General in Lagos 6 months ago. In Lagos, Nosa Osula, NTA News.
More than 20 National Executive Committee members of the Road Transport Employers Association of Nigeria have ratified the dismissal of its national president and the secretary. At a press briefing in Lagos, members said the decision became inevitable sequel to the dissolution of various state chapters, which has caused disaffection among members.
The 28 NEC members are not only challenging the decision dissolving the Lagos chapter, but they describe it as an attempt to incapacitate the various state chapters and enthrone their surrogates, citing similar developments in Kaduna, Ogun, and Niger states as evidence. They alleged that the dismissal of the national president in 2017 has not been revoked by any constituted authority, hence the need to revisit the case and immediately order its enforcement.
Well, in the case of the dismissed national president, the Constitution clearly says a higher ranking officer in the association should take over. And what it means, the deputy national president admin should take over. And the person who is occupying that position is Alhaji Musa Muhammad, who is currently the state chairman, Lagos branch of the association, and equally the deputy national president. While the position of the national secretary general that has been dismissed today from the association equally will be manned or taken over by his deputy, Dr. Harry Ejiofor.
The NEC members alleged that the national president and secretary have tarnished the image of the union through their various acts of ticket racketeering, diversion of funds, and sidetracking the National Executive Committee. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
Nigeria's longest-running television soap opera, The Village Headmaster, which showed on the oldest television in Nigeria, the Nigerian Broadcasting Corporation, now NTA Lagos Network Center, between 1968 and 1988 is 50. To celebrate this golden milestone, casts and crew with the NTA are synergizing, among others, to reinforce the traditions, ethics, and values of the TV series. Adeola Omokive tells us more.
Village
headmaster, no. It was something that people were excited about.
Those were present-day Nigerians who had never had an inkling of what the village headmaster was all about. But good enough. They will soon have a sense of belonging when they watch the defunct series hit their TV screens.
This will certainly be something that will make those that are most concerned sit down and come up with possible ways for accessing funds to bring the program back.
Sitting at the banquet hall of the NTA Lagos Network Center are some cast and crew who for more than 2 decades brought smiles to the faces of Nigerians with characters that promoted national unity and preferred solutions to educational, social and political situations.
Uche, yes. Oh God, honestly, same to you. We don't want those things to die. We want them to remain. We want to pass them on to our children.
How will reviving the defunct TV series impact on this present generation?
It's a thing that you can use in educating people.
To put the history of Nigerian entertainment, particularly drama, in its true perspective.
With good partnership, the NTA is optimistic of enormous improvement on the final production and value reorientation.
If the family are now regrouping and telling us that they want to come back and continue with that series, there's nothing as exciting as that. And that's why NTA is showing keen interest to be part of this new development.
The drama was produced in 1958 and aired on radio station for 6 years before its format was transformed into a TV series on NBC Lagos, now NTA Lagos Network Center. In Lagos, Adeola Omokive, NTA News.
This is good news. I remember my mom falling in love with the village headmaster. And time for another break. News Extract returns shortly.
Hey, you! And are you how they talk to? I sabi you now. It's in day your mind, Abi. The person with them go help us. Baba Toros and Shangalo. Oga Lekova, Mr. Sabi. And you know if you carry last for this one.
A spear into the top corner.
We Sabi say Peking will crawl before in waka. So don't look, no help anybody. No dolly, no. So go for it. Go for football. Go for all Syria on the Liga Marches live. Go for Go TV Max.
$86,400 seconds in a day, and just one like this. The golden moment when it all comes together. The people, the style, the flavor. I'll drink to that. New Guinness Gold Beer. Savor the flavor.
Good to have you back on News Extra. For trending stories across the globe, let's join our foreign desk.
At least 27 people, many of them children, have been killed in a fire at a boarding school in a suburb near the Liberian capital, Monrovia. The fire is believed to have broken out in the early hours of the morning when school students were sleeping in a building attached to a mosque. President George Weah has tweeted his condolences to bereaved families. And from Israel comes a report that partial official results confirm that no clear winner has emerged from the country's election, leaving a question mark over who will be prime minister. With about 60% of votes counted, the party of incumbent Benjamin Netanyahu is neck and neck with that of his center-left main challenger. The results indicate that each will struggle to form a majority coalition with smaller parties. Mr. Netanyahu is vying to stay in power for a record 5th term. Reports have it that the latest results from Tuesday's vote suggest his Likud party won 31 seats, while his opponent Benny Gantz, Blue and White Party garnered 32 seats. A prime minister needs to command a 61-seat majority in the Knesset Parliament. Justin Bemunyi, NTA News.
And now to sports. Federal Ministries of Sports and Education unite for the benefit of the Nigerian youth, as Amanzi Marcus reports on Sports Update.
The Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, and that of Education, Adamu, have re-emphasized their commitments towards youth development. The Sports Minister, who was at the Education Ministry in Abuja on Tuesday, stressed that his visit was to discuss partnership in youth development in sports and education. Issues relating to school sports were discussed, with the two ministers agreeing to meet again within 2 weeks to review and expand on areas of collaboration. In a related development, the Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dare, has pledged his commitment in completing the Secretariat of the Association of National Olympic Committees of Africa, located in Abuja since 2009. Receiving the ANOCA president in his office, the minister stressed the relevance of the Secretariat to Nigeria's quest for a voice in sports politics, adding that the office should be ready for use by November 13, ahead of its inauguration by Thomas Bach, president of the International Olympic Committee.
As we prepare for the 2020 Tokyo, we believe that ANOCA will support us where necessary.
ANOCA President Berat Mustafa recalled how Nigeria won the bid after defeating some African countries, while stressing its significance beyond sports. The International Association of Athletics Federations has set aside $7,530,000 as prize money for athletes competing at the IAAF World Championships in Doha, Qatar. For individual events, there are prizes for positions 1 to 8, with gold, silver, and bronze medalists getting $60,000, $30,000, and $20,000. The relay teams will each receive $80,000 for gold and $40,000 for silver. Athletes who set a world record are eligible for a special award of $100,000 during the September 27 to October 6 championships at the Khalifa International Stadium in Doha, Qatar. With Sports Update, Amanzi Marcus, NTA News.
To a sad one now, a death has been announced of Mrs. Moroluke Marian Ofakoyede at the age of 91. Burial arrangements, as announced by the family, indicates that service of songs and Christian wakekeep holds at her residence, Oke Oshun Quarters, Ikere, Ekiti State, on Thursday, 19th of September 2019 by 5 p.m. Burial service will be on the 20th at St. Luke's Anglican Church, Iru Quarters, Ikere, Ekiti State by 10 a.m. Interment follows immediately. Mama is survived by 5 children, amongst whom is Mrs. Olanikbekun Olukoyede, Secretary to the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC. And Kano residents mourn the death of Hajia Zuera Gogodudu Zaharaddin. She was aged 92. She is survived by many children, grand and great-grandchildren, among whom are the Grand Imam of Kano, Professor Sani Zaharaddin, a foremost educationist in Kano, Malam Bello Ahmed Yakasai, and industrialist Alhaji Ado Umaybargu, and NTA's retired staff, Nasir Zaharaddin. Hajia Zuera Zaharaddin was since been buried. And now, let's take a quick run on the weather prospects for Thursday. And that is it on News Extra for tonight. Thank you so much for watching. I am Fatima Umaruba. Enjoy your night.